Hey guys, just back with another C# tutorial. So we'll be doing the lab today, so we'll be going over just making a form and then practicing the exceptions concept. So we will we'll add 3 text boxes, I believe 5 labels and 3 buttons. So similar to what we did before, so we'll just delete some of this stuff. Missing, no, that's fine. Okay, so we'll just go with, we have the designer. So we have the designer window. We have our form here. So we can start by changing the name of the form. So we'll just have excuse me, so we have so the name will just change to what are we going to change it to? We'll just change it to test scores. We'll just kind of a grades averaging calculator. Actually no, sorry, that's the identifier. So we'll just keep this as form 1. The name, so the name will change to form 1, and then the text will change it to grades. Grades is fine, so we'll just go with grades. So we'll have here 3 text boxes, so we'll just drag it for this part of the series. We're just going to be dragging these on. We'll be coding the complete GUI later on. Right now we're just going to code the event handlers. We haven't talked about objects, so we won't be able to instantiate all these for now. So for now we'll just drag them on, so we'll just double click a text box. I'll just put it around here. We'll change the name to, excuse me, we'll just change this to test 1. So test 1 text box. And then we'll change the text, will just be empty. We'll change the size to something a bit more. .36 should be fine, so we'll have, actually that might be too much, because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a button. So maybe we'll try it. Sorry, so we'll just drag this on. This will be text box, so the same kind of naming convention, so we'll just have text box 2, or test 2, sorry. Test 2 and then text box. And for the size, same thing, 36. Font size. I'll just resize it. Okay, so we have one more, actually, sorry, 2 more here. So we'll have test 3 text box. And then we'll have test3 text box, and then we'll have the size, same thing, 36. Then we'll have, actually no, just 3 text boxes. Okay, so here we'll have a label down here. Label will just be same kind of size. So we'll change the label name to average label. Then we'll have the font size to 36. Sorry, just hit the mic by accident. So here we'll have, that should be fine, we'll just have the text set to just spaces. That should be fine. Oh, whoops, we'll go with a border style too. We'll go with auto size to true. So then we'll just have 4 more labels in coming down the left side. So we'll have test 1 label. We'll do the same auto size. So basically these are all have the same properties. Or is auto size already true? I think auto size was set to true already, unless it changed now. Okay, I might have changed it, so we'll just go with that. So we'll change actually the size, sorry no, the text just to some spaces again. Actually no, let's have the label here with an actual string. So we'll have, here we'll just go with test 1. Oops, what happened there? Didn't show up. Something glitched out here, so we'll just, could be the spaces. Unless I clicked tag by accident, so here we'll just try test 1. Okay, there we go, so test 1. Maybe put a colon on that. Oh, whoops. Test 1, then colon. We'll do the same. Can I just copy this? No, it's probably, I'm not sure if that'll work. Copy, paste. There, okay, we got another one exactly, that'll help. So we'll just change the label here. You know what, I'm not sure if that's gonna work properly. That might mess things up in the back end, so we'll just click it manually. sorry, so here we'll have test 1 prompt, not prompt, so just, sorry, not test 1. Test 2, label. Then with the size, same stuff. Whoops. Auto size will set to true. And then text will change to test 2, colon. Alright, so just 2 more, we'll have test 3. Test 3 here. Okay, so label, then we'll just call it test, no whoops. Test 3 label. Font will change. Size, sorry, font size. And auto size. And then, what happened there? Allow drop, no, that should be wrong. Okay, so we have label 1 here. We'll just change the text to test 3. Then we'll have one more down here. So this will be description label. So here we'll have text to, what happened here? Auto size, still haven't changed that one. Nope. So we'll have here text to average test score. And then we'll just have 3 buttons. Calculate, clear, and exit. So we'll just go with the calculate one first. Oops, sorry, hit the mic again by accident. I have like a headset mic, so I sometimes move my hands. It like taps the mic. So here we'll have a calculate button. And we'll have auto size, I guess we'll turn auto size on, if that's possible. Okay, sorry, zoned out here for a sec. So we have, nope, there's no auto size here for buttons, is there? Oh no, there is. Okay, so true. Then we got, sorry, can't even see that the text is so small. So we have 36. No, that'll probably be too much. So go with 26, I guess. And we'll go with calculate average. Or just calculate. Just something like that. Then clear and then exit. Okay, so here we'll have another one. We'll go with clear button. And we'll go with size, same idea, 26. Auto size to true. And then we'll go with font. No, that's fine. Text. Clear button. No, not like that. We'll just go with clear then. Button. Name to exit button. So just exit button. We'll save that and then we'll go with button. No, size. Auto size to true. Then we'll go with font to 26. Excuse me, so we have exit here. Okay, so that should pretty much be everything. Test 1, test 2, test 3, average score, 3 text boxes, and a label. So let's move on to the event handlers. 1 second here, just get that. So let's see what we've done so far. So we have our form set up with no event handlers. So these, if you actually run this code and these buttons are clickable, they just don't do anything. For example. Okay, so we should have everything set up, should be fine. Text align, we could change this text align here. So we'll click this one here, whichever one, I forgot that was. Is that average label? We'll change the text align to middle center. So text align here. There we go, so we have, that should be it. So once we have that, we can create the click event handlers for the button controls, so we can do that now. So double click the calculate button control. We'll code this stuff 100% later on. We'll just do the code in this method here. So we have So basically, let's just start coding it. So remember, the purpose of this is the try catch block, which I probably haven't included yet. So we'll just do that now. So there's just 2 buttons here to do, so we'll just go with that. So again, remember, if you saw the last tutorial, so all we have to do is just go try here. Take this one out. Actually, that might just, well, I kind of want to code it out, so we'll just go with that. Take this out. So throw new just means you can throw an exception. We'll talk about that later on. So here we'll have try, and so we'll have a double test 1, double test 2. We could just go with val. So double test 2 val, then we'll go with whoops, forgot the semicolon. So we'll have a double test 3 val. Did I spell that wrong? Double test 3 val, then we'll go with double average val. So these are all local. Once again, these are local variables. The scope of local variables are the method in which they are defined. Okay, so we have so we'll get the 3 test scores here by referencing the text boxes. So we'll have test 1 val, which points to double dot parse dot test 1 text box. So test 1 text box dot text. So then the same for test 2. Whoops, test 2 val points to double dot parse test 2 text box dot text. And test 3 val points to double dot parse test 3 text box dot text. Whoops, should be a capital on that one, on the T. So then we'll have the formula. So we can just do that. We can just keep these together. So if we have average val, no, is that defined here? Yeah, okay, so average val. So you could also do this. You could define, you could do this. It doesn't have to be at the top. You can do it in one statement. I think we've talked about this, so we could just have double average val points to the formula. Divided by 3.0. We could do that, but then we instead, excuse me, we could just go with double. We could just go with average val, since we already have it declared here. But you can do the declaration and instantiation in one kind of statement. Excuse me. Let's have some water here. Okay, so we'll have the last one. The second last part, we'll have average label dot text points to average val dot toString. So we'll reference the toString that we learned about last time. And here we'll use a formatting string, which will be a number format to 1 decimal place. Then we'll catch that down here. We'll catch exception. Whoops. Catch exception EX. We could just call it exception here. Exception, exception. So exception, exception. So notice the lowercase. This isn't the same thing. If we go like this will cause a problem because the compiler will get confused. Which one are you talking about? You just call the exception class, and then you reference the class again, or it's asking, did you try to name the object, the class name? Well, like, you can't do that because I'm going to get confused. That's what it's trying to tell you. So here we can just do this. It's a common convention. You can have a capital for E here for exception, and then have a lowercase e here. You'll probably define most of your objects like that. It keeps it easy. So this just basically says, okay, well, this is an exception object, which references the exception class, but the casing is different. Capital E here for the class, exception class, and lowercase for the object that the coder defined, or the programmer. So here then we'll just have a message box dot show. I spelled that wrong. Message box dot show. Here we'll pass in exception dot message for the parameter. Might be an enum. Message might be an enum. We'll talk about that later on. Virtual string. Okay, we haven't talked about virtual stuff. We'll get into that later on. We'll talk about why there's no parentheses on here later on when we get into more of the complicated topics. Okay, so we have actually, I don't think you guys can see that extra window, so just there's a window popping up here that's like the IntelliSense, and it's telling me that it's like a tooltip. If I hover over message, a tooltip's like a message that pops up if you hover your mouse cursor over something. So this is saying that it's public virtual string message. So we'll talk about what virtual means later on. So we have message box.show. So what happens is, if this try block raises an exception, then the catch block will get executed. If the exception occurs here, this part of the code will get skipped, then we'll move to the catch block here. If there's no exception, once again the catch block will get skipped. So we have the message. So that we have a clear. Actually, sorry, we have. Did we have more than one button here? Okay, yeah. So for the clear button, we have some extra stuff here. So we'll just double click the clear button. We'll just comment this out. So we have test1 text box dot text. So test1 text box dot text. Sorry, text. So test1 text box dot text points to just an empty string, which just means we're just going to clear the text box. And then test2 text box Text points to an empty string. Test3 text box text points to empty quotes, and then we'll have average label text points to an empty string. So test1 text box text empty string 2 3 is the same, and then average label text. Then for the exit button, we'll just double click that to create the event handler. Then here we'll just have we'll just call this .close again. And that should be all. So we'll just save that. So file, save all. That should be fine. I'll just run that just to check, and then you guys won't be able to see this again because I just have the Windows Recorder can only get one screen at a time, but I'll include this at the end. It's just running here. Okay, so we have test 1. We'll just enter some grades here. So average test score will be calculated, so it gives us 90. Clear, then exit. So you guys probably can't see that. Okay, so I'll include it in 1 sec here. See you guys in a sec.